Hello and welcome to the show. I'm your host, Sarah Darsha. This show hopes to show you the true perspective of Islam through the eyes of those who live it. If you happened to miss the show last week, no worries, you can check it out on our YouTube channel. On today's show, we're talking about Muslims in the workforce. We have our wonderful co-host with me today, Rifat Hussein, and also joining us on the show is Constable Imad Haidar and Constable Hisham Saeed from the Ontario Provincial Police. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thanks for having us today.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I was born and raised in London, Ontario. My parents are originally from Lebanon. I did my education all in London, public school, high school, and I went to Western. And later on, I became a provincial constable at the OPP. So I guess that's the long and short of my background.
Okay, Hisham, your story.
All right, so I was born and raised in London, Ontario. I went to school here. I also went to Fanshawe College. Afterwards, we opened up a restaurant downtown in the marketplace, and shortly after that, I decided that I wanted to get into policing, and that's when I became a police officer. My parents are both from Lebanon as well.
You have chosen a profession that's beyond the stereotypical doctor, lawyer, engineer. What was the reaction of your family when you told them that you wanted to be a police officer?
So my parents, they were fine with it. They told me to go for it, and when I did, I mean, they knew it was a good paying job. It's an honorable job, and they were happy for me when I did get accepted.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it's a little bit of a different story, just because my mom was terrified that I was going to become an officer. Just obviously the safety aspect of the job, right? There are times when it's not the safest job in the world, and my mom was really concerned. But after I kind of convinced her, like Hisham mentioned before, that it's an honorable job, and you're pretty much helping your community. It made things easier to swallow for her. Mm-hmm. But still, even till now, when I go to work, be careful. Make sure your radio works and everything. Got your equipment with you. But yeah, the motherly instinct never goes away, I don't think. So I guess that's how my parents think. My dad was pretty good with it. I mean, as long as I had a job, he was happy.
So just as long as you guys were employed. That's
as long as I was working somewhere and not living in his place, we were good. No.
How has being Muslim aided you in your job in becoming a police officer?
It's helped me immensely. I mean, our religion teaches us so much about being patient and being merciful and bettering community. As being a Muslim, one, you have to be part of a community, and you have to have an active role in any community that you're in, whether the Muslim community or the general community. And one of the big principles of Islam is you enjoin good and you forbid evil. It's pretty much a direct quote from the Quran. So in our job, it's essentially what you're doing is you're protecting your community, you're stopping bad people from doing bad things, and in helping people when they have an emergency. Essentially, when you call 911, this is who's coming to the door, right? So yeah, definitely Islam is kind of one of the main reasons I became a Muslim. Became a police officer, and and being a Muslim is the parallels in terms of the job and being a Muslim are kind of they go hand in hand. So it helps a lot, and it makes me a better Muslim, makes me a better officer.
Okay, why the OPP? Why not the London Police Services or the RCMP? Why OPP?
All right, so when I initially started, I applied everywhere: London, RCMP, and the OPP. As well as the local municipal services. However, in 2004, I believe, I was involved in the a diversity program, which was the peace program with the OPP. And after that, I kind of was biased towards the OPP. They actually believe in diversity and bring in people of different national and religious beliefs in. So it was easy for me to pick the OPP in that regard.
My story is a little bit different than Hisham's route. Mine actually involved Hish. Me and Hisham have been friends for a long time, and when I was in university, he had just got hired on with the OPP, and he said, "You know what, man? It's a great job. I think you'd really like it. You should apply." So I only did one application to the OPP, and I got hired first as a cadet. I think Hisham as well. Yeah, we were both cadets first. And then after, a certain period of time, we both transferred over and became constables. So, yeah, the reason I really became, one of the big reasons I became an officer was because of Hisham. So, yeah, it's a pretty cool story.
Nice guy.
Yeah, really, he is.
Talk to me a little bit about how you use the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, to guide you, while doing your job.
So, any practicing Muslim, obviously the Prophet would be a main source of information and a role model for any Muslim, especially his character as a whole. Many of the characteristics like patience, perseverance, mercy are huge, especially in our job, because on a day-to-day basis we're seeing things that most people don't see. We see kind of the worst of society, and sometimes the best. And to have a role model like the Prophet, peace be upon him, by really understanding who he was as a person, and taking even just a little bit of his character and applying it in our job, helps us in a big way in terms of being, like I said, being patient and especially merciful with the people you deal with, because that's a huge part of our job, is kind of to see a situation, and then we have to be the kind of the calmest people in the room and kind of react to that situation and pretty much solve a problem. And that's pretty much why people call 911 or call for the police, is because they have an issue that they need to solve. And and actually one other big characteristics is empathy, because you really have to relate, kind of have an understanding where people are coming from, because sometimes when people call 911, they're just having a bad day. They might not be like that all the time. It just might be kind of an off day for them. And you have to kind of understand that and take that into consideration when you're making a decision.
Join us after this small break.
Mech Dental is a state-of-the-art dental office offering the very latest in technology. Mech Dental offers a wide variety of dental services in a family-friendly environment, including dental hygiene, restorative, and cosmetic dentistry. Located in London, Ontario at 715 Wellington Road South.
Talk to us a little bit about what you do outside of being a police officer. Are you married? Do you have any kids?
Married. To you. Yeah. We have a young daughter. I have a young daughter with you. Yeah, her name's Minna. She's cute. I like to golf a lot. I'm a big golfer. I probably play 3 times a week. And thanks for letting me do that, by the way. I like to golf, spend time with the family. I volunteer whenever I have some free time, which is not very much these days. Hang out with friends, kind of the same.
Shem, do you golf?
Absolutely not. No. I can't stand it. No. I like playing basketball and hockey and working out at the gym. So these are little things I like to do. I got my wife and 3 kids, and we spend, and on my days off I spend time with my family, and that's pretty much my week.
How do you make the best out of difficult situations, and how do you kind of go home and drop it all and just enjoy your life?
Well, that one's easy. I mean, for me, and I'm pretty sure with Hisham, it's the same thing, is that work is work. When you're at work, you're given it all you got, I guess, as much as you can. And then as soon as you're done, you leave all that behind. There are days when you get stressed at work, and it's just natural to bring that home. Maybe not to take it out on somebody, but just that you have it there. You might be not as social or as happy because you saw something, you went through something that you normally wouldn't go through. But those days are kind of rare, I think. They don't happen very often. But I think generally we're pretty good at kind of, doing our thing at work and then leaving it at work and then coming home, Because the thing is, there's a lot to it when you're wearing your uniform, and then when you take it all off, it's like taking off a burden off your shoulders at the same time. So it's kind of easy that way, because you're literally taking off your work and you're leaving it there. So
you guys had mentioned both that the reasons why you became police officers. What was the one thing that you didn't expect in this job?
All right. So for me, like, obviously watching movies and you're watching Bad Boys and you see the way policing is on that, you're thinking, oh yeah, that'd be cool. And then you get on the job and you finally get to that one call that sounds really exciting that you're going to go to. So you go to that call, and it's your heart rate's going. but it lasts 5 minutes, and then you go back to the office and you're sitting in front of a computer for sometimes 4 to 5 hours, right, typing up a report and trying to get everything, trying to get the brief all together, right?
Just for that 5-minute call?
For that 5-10 minute call that when you actually get there, or you'll get a call that sounds absolutely outrageous on the air, and you get there and it's absolutely, there's nothing to it, right? But your heart's going, and when you get there, you're pumped up for this crazy call, and it's nothing, right? So,
And then the paperwork
and then the
afterwards.
paper comes afterwards. So.
And was that what surprised you as well, Imad?
Yeah, there's a lot of paperwork, but I mean, the way the organization works, I mean, they've made things easier so that, to minimize the amount of time we're actually in the office and maximize the amount of time we're out on the road, because, we'll obviously get more done when you're out and about than sitting behind a computer. So, sometimes there is just the nature of the call just demands that there is a lot of paperwork that comes with it. So there's really no way around doing it.
It's accountability. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but you know what? There's you get some calls that are just funny. I mean, for like one example, we got a complaint of a guy just kind of a suspicious person in a community. So we're driving around the main street of the community, and we see the description of the person who's suspicious, and they didn't really say why he was suspicious. And you like to ask, what's suspicious about the person? What makes it suspicious? Because generally something must be standing out to make you call the police about this person. So for whatever reason, this guy was just dancing up and down the road, like full out, just every type of dance you can think of, just hip hop dancing and just up and down the street, up, down, jumping, spinning, turning, just walking, minding his own business, but just dancing everywhere he was going. Like he wasn't walking, he was dancing wherever he was going. That's that. So that I mean, to see that, just thinking, when you think suspicious person, you're thinking, okay, the shifty eyes, or you don't know what to expect when someone says suspicious, but you get there and the guy's just dancing down the road. It's kind of funny. So sometimes you get stuff like that that's light, and other times it's the opposite of that. But yeah.
Hisham, have you ever had that situation?
I've never had anybody dancing on the road.
Okay.
Yeah. I guess it could get to that, but I'm still waiting for my turn.
Okay.
Somebody
You're
has
still
to
waiting
dance
for the
and
dance.
call.
Yeah, dance and call.
We're going to go for a small break. We're going to continue right after this.
Welcome to the new McMaster Chevrolet. We've recently expanded to serve you better and now offer a 45 minutes or less lube, oil and filter service. Our selection of over 330 new and pre-owned vehicles will give you plenty of choice when selecting your next vehicle. And our team of highly trained GM certified technicians will ensure your vehicle runs smoothly day in and day out. See what all the buzz is about. Make your move to McMaster today.
Can both of you explain to me the processes that you went through to become a police officer, regardless of somebody choosing the London Police Services, RCMP, or the OPP?
Okay.
Because we have many viewers now who may wish to become police officers in the future. So what steps did you guys take?
When I decided that I was going to become a police officer, I started working out at the time, trying to get in shape, and so that's one of the things you got to do. Volunteering, get involved in your community, whether it be at the London Muslim Mosque or the Islamic Center or the Mac Center, wherever. Could be Boys and Girls Club or whatever, but you do have to get yourself involved in the community. Show that you are community oriented. There's a series of tests that you need to take, and you can find all that on the OPP website or any police services websites. Once you pass those tests, that's when you actually apply to the service of your choice. Now you can apply to all of them, or you can apply to the one that you want to work for. And you wait for the interview, and the interview process could take up from, for me it took about 9 months. I think it's shortened now.
For me, it was about a year. I've heard stories of 2 weeks, like they needed someone immediately to the interviews, and it just went through. Not with our service, but other services, I've heard it go really quick. The one thing I'd add to what Hisham just said is that don't leave a lapse in time where you're not doing anything if you want to become a police officer, and that's one of your goals. If you're at a job or you're not in school, volunteer, do something. Don't have a period of time where you're not doing anything, because it doesn't show that you're being proactive and being part of the community, because you can always volunteer whether you're working or not. It's a thing that any organization is looking for, is always looking for people to help. So always have a continuous keep your schedule full, essentially, is what I'm trying to say. Don't leave yourself sitting on the couch.
I think, and continue your education too, because what most police services are looking for is people with, college or university degree now. So that's not necessarily what they are looking for, because you can apply right out of high school. If you're fit or if you're qualified for the job, they'll take you. But continue your education, I think, is really important as well.
Okay, now you had said that there's many tests involved, plus a physical element of working out and so forth. What was the hardest out of everything? Not only from the application right to the interview, which one of those was the hardest for you to overcome?
I think for me it was the interview. It was just, you're sitting there in front of a couple of police officers, and it's kind of intimidating when you walk in there, but that was probably the hardest thing, because the interview could last up to, my interview was about 2 hours, I think, so it was long. But
I'd say for me it was the psych test, because I didn't know which way I was gonna go. No, I'm just kidding. The interview is always tough, because you're sitting in front of someone and you're answering questions and you're trying to sell yourself, and that's sometimes hard to do. But for me, that I would say the interview would be the hardest part, because everything else, you have time to do. You have time to do your application. You have time to get fit, and time to do all the testing. But when you're in an interview, you're asked point blank, kind of like today. You're asked point blank questions, and you have to give an answer. Yeah.
Thank you both for joining us today. I'm sure we've learned a lot, and I hope that our viewers have learned just as much. And if you are interested in applying for the OPP, go onto their website, www.opp.ca. Thank you.
We'll be going for a small break. Join us after this.
Paramount Fine Foods, an amazing Lebanese and authentic Middle Eastern Arabic food and bakery founded on fresh and healthy Middle Eastern cuisine. Our beautiful and family-friendly environment encourages families to settle in, get comfortable, and enjoy. Our welcoming and warm staff will work quickly and smoothly to bring you an excellent service. 769 Southern Road East, Sunday to Thursday, 8 a.m. to 10 p.m., Friday and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. Jafar, Chief, welcome to our program, Jafar.
Thank you so much.
Good, Jafar, I don't think he needs to be introduced. As you can see behind us, there's lots of delicious cakes. So, Jafar, what do you tell us? Let's start talking about who is Jafar.
Jafar, he is a human being who came to Canada 17 years ago, and I always worked with bakery and pastry and learned more and more. The more time I spent on it, I learned more and more on the business.
When you start Francello here in London, what was the specialty?
The specialty was the French pastry, the dessert, and most important is the wedding cake. The wedding cake is very, very, very special. I have to sit and talk to the bride and groom and see what they're looking for, what they have for idea, what flavor they wanted. For the size, I can make any size you want. It depends for the guests, how many people they invite to their wedding, and it depends what they have for food, for dessert there, if they're gonna serve everybody from the wedding cake, or it's just for the cut, pictures, and that's it. So we can go from the size, any size you want, from 1 tier up to 10 tier. Now I'm rolling the fondant to cover wedding cake. It's very, very important to have your table 200% clean. Otherwise, the fondant will pick up all the dirt dust, you have it on the table, so you're gonna make sure everything is 100% clean. So you keep rolling till you see the size of the cake you're gonna cover. What I'm doing now, I'm gonna cover a 14-inch cake for wedding, which is it's the bottom of the wedding cake. Now we put the cake on top of each other. It's secure now. The lady, she wanted to have a ribbon on the bottom of each tier, and second tier and the top tier she wanted a diamond shape with the pearl dots on between each one. So we're gonna start doing that. First we have to measure the ribbon, and after we're gonna put it together on top of the cake. Now what are we trying to do? We're trying to do a diamond shape on this cake because it gives a nice look. Even if you go to the back and you look at it, it looks like a diamond shape on it. And on each dots here in between where they meet each diamond, we're gonna make a little hole, and we put a pearl on each one. So when it's done, you can look at it and see how it look like.
Okay, Jafar, so the specialty is still the wedding cakes.
Yes, it's still the wedding cakes.
If I want a car or a football ball, or
we can do that, which is called the 3D cake. And we can do it as a specialty cake, as a custom cake, and we can do anything you want if you bring your idea, your picture, and we can work on it.